Thank you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Just real quickly, I'm used to giving much longer presentations, so I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as possible and leave room for questions at the end. Just as a note, we are going to be recording. You guys aren't going to necessarily be recorded. I will actually ask a couple people to come up, but if you don't want to be recorded, please let me know ahead of time. I mean, we're just using this just for our own personal preference, just so that we can kind of get an idea of what to talk about and things of that nature. So with that, again, with iDeposit, Eric with iDeposit.net, and like I said, we've been around doing this for 12 years. The reason why, what I really want to cover on is why iDeposit, what iDeposit does, because there's a lot of misconceptions of just the industry itself, and you know, you're dealing with credit cards and giving people your credit cards, is it secure and things like that. So I want to make sure we cover all those types of things, and then also how this would work for someone and who exactly this would work for, the type of companies that it's going to be working for. And then we're just going to do a lot of hands-on demonstrations. So there's going to be some participation. So I know everybody's getting their breakfast and everybody's sitting down. So I'm going to ask at some point, maybe just a couple people so we can do some hands-on examples, because I do have a couple of devices here that we can actually show so you can kind of see how this works firsthand. I tried to get the biggest devices possible. Unfortunately, this is the iPad mini and this is the Samsung tablet, but we don't have anything bigger, but hopefully you guys can see that. But of course, if you guys have questions afterwards, we can always, go over information after that. So, really quick, yes, as far as what iDeposit is what they call a true gateway company, okay? So, what we specialize in is security. So understanding that in order for you to be able to take Visa, MasterCard credit cards or any type of American Express or Discover cards, you have to run through certain type of requirements. You have to be certifications and things like that before they even allow you. We're dealing with very sensitive data, and so we take that stuff very seriously. So our biggest priority is security and encryption. For those people who understand security, the biggest thing is we have 256-bit encryption. I don't want to bore you with all the lingo and things of that nature and stuff like that, but it's the same type of security that you would find with all the major banks. Okay, we have off-site servers that are literally that you're connecting to remotely, so that all that information is not actually being transferred through the device. Because one of the misunderstandings is that the information is unsecure on the device itself. Well, in order for any information to be passed through, there has to be some form of an internet connection established, and all that information is first sent over to the servers through our secured information, through our secured site, and then sent over to the bank to be processed. So it is a two-step process. And we do not process the credit cards. The merchant provider or the bank actually processes those credit cards. So we are what's called a true middleman. So our biggest avenue, what we provide is the security to make sure that this information is being transferred through securely. Okay, so just wanted to kind of clear that up. We do have partnerships with major banks. Like David said, we do actually have the ability not only to work with businesses locally, but nationwide. Anywhere that you can have any type of data connection or internet connection, they can use our services. Okay. Primarily, though, we only work with Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover cards. So any type of other foreign credit cards, no, we don't actually do those. But Visa, MasterCard is worldwide, so it's not just in the U.S. So they can use that all over also too. We also offer customer service. There's a lot of our competitors or companies out there that do have similar services, but they don't actually offer customer service. So you have that peace of mind that, if you want to bring somebody on board, it's going to be handed off and say, here, use this information, use all this, and then have no one to actually contact. So you guys have that also peace of mind too. Some of the products and services that we offer, now we've been doing this for 12 years. Of course, phone apps have not been around for that long. So we originally started off with doing credit cards through gateway, through shopping carts, through online services. Like you go to Amazon and you put in information and throw in a shopping cart and you take that credit card. That's the process of taking that credit card over to be processed is a gateway. And that's really what we provide. We've always been able to provide that. We still provide that. So, anybody that's looking to do online services, and they want to take credit cards and they want to set up a shopping cart like that, we offer those types of services also too. But where we're finding and where the trends are going right now is that the new thing and the hot thing is the mobile apps. Everybody has phones. Matter of fact, if you guys have an Apple or an Android phone, feel free to download our app. It's you can go to the App Store on Android. It's Google Play Store. You just search for iDeposit.net. You can actually use the app for free. It is free, and you can just run it in demo mode. Of course, you won't be able to run any actual credit cards, but you can at least kind of see. If you guys want to follow along, while I'm showing the demonstration, you can kind of also see that too. And then we also offer credit cards, swipers, and this is what really helps those rates. Now, we're going to talk about rates. I know it's one of the questions, but this actually allows so that when you guys are swiping those cards, when you have customers that are taking, you're taking credit cards from customers, we know that the card is present, and the banks look at that as a less of a risk. So if someone ever wants to dispute something, they know that the card was actually present at the time of purchase. So this really helps out a lot. This one in particular actually prints out paper, which you'll see. So it's just like if you're at a grocery store, at a liquor store, you can actually do that now where you can take the credit card and then you get an actual receipt, they sign it, and you keep it for your records. So really, really handy. So let's go ahead and show a quick demonstration. If I can have 2 people just come up and be customer examples, okay? So I got him, Roosevelt, and all right, so we're good. So Kim, you're gonna be, you can be fitness, that's fine. So you're gonna be fitness, so we'll do that one. Roosevelt, you're gonna be photography. So I'm actually gonna be the photographer or the person getting the order, but you're gonna be the customer looking for that service, okay? So I'm going to try to do this as best as I can by showing you guys how this works. As a matter of fact, I'll flip it this way so you guys can kind of see this. Okay, so we got Kim here. I'm actually going to be the fitness trainer, and I want to be able to take a credit card because she's going to sign up for a training session. So what you would do is you just...
That's different.
Right? No, we're flipping it now. So we hit credit cards, process sale, and then all you do is there's a plug up here for the headphone jack. Plug this in, it starts to power up, okay, and then all I do is choose, Kim just gave me the credit card, right? So your services is going to be, let's say $60 for 3 sessions. All right, that's cheap, that's pretty cheap actually, right? So we swipe the card, her information will pop up here, and then all we do is we just go here, type in the amount, we can say $60, 60. Try to do this upside down, it's really hard. Okay. 00. And then that's it. So now we've got the amount. If you have tax would already be included in that. It says yes, do you want to? Matter of fact, I have tax, so it's $65.52. We say yes. It's processing. Now you've got an approval screen. So down here at the bottom, there's some buttons. So what I would need to do is get her signature. So go ahead and write with your finger. Your signature. I'm not really charging you, by the way. So you do that, and then you would hit accept. Okay. And then I would say, okay, now we've got your signature. Let me go ahead and would you like an email receipt, or would you like me to text it to you? So I can get her email address, type in her email address, she would get the email. Or I can text it to her, and then, well, because this is actually, this is a Wi-Fi only, it's not on the phone, there's no way to text. So you would get that. So that's how that works. There's a simple process of how that works. So, thank you, Kim, by the way. Thanks for the service. So just a quick example. And let's try with this one here so we can see this, because I know I got a little bit of time left here. I don't know how well we're seeing this here. So this is the Android version. So he wants to do photography. And I actually want to bill him up front, let's say a $50 deposit, and then later I want to come back to him when the job is finished and charge him the additional $300. So we're going to do what's called a pre-authorization. And basically how that works, take the credit card, yep. Same exact format, everything else stays the same. The only difference is, let me see the credit card. Gotta love technology, right? You can throw a seat here. Well, let's not, because I don't want to. Oh, there it goes. Alright, well, because I don't want to take up too much time, we'll just use this card reader here for stuff for now. I had put it to sleep and I don't want to put too much stuff. Anyway, swipe the card. Information will pop up. Gotta love technology sometimes, right? Okay, here we go. Alright, swipe the card. There it goes. Information pops up. Type in the amount. What did we say, $30? $50, right? It's good to know what the amount is. You got to know that, right? And it works a little bit different on the Android. So basically, what's going to happen is that's 50. Let's say nobody comes back 2 weeks later, and we now need to complete that transaction. So what I'm going to do is click on unsettled transactions, which basically you're going back to that transaction. It's just sitting there, and now you're ready to go ahead and resolve that, and you want to type in the final amount. So let's say it's 2 weeks later he comes back, and now he's ready to finish. I find that transaction. This is it right here. I know I'm going through this quickly, so we'll have more time next time when we do this.
Is there a maximum amount that you can punch in?
No. That's the great thing about it. Once you've been approved by the banks, you can type in whatever you like as far as how much you want to charge. As long as you can approve and can prove that you are taking that amount of transactions. Everything is done through background checks, so you have to actually run through background checks. And once that's all been taken care of by the banks, they'll pretty much allow you to take whatever it is you want. So there it is. So now I know you kind of hard to see that, but it's a $350 transaction. A week later, that's actually come through. So
it says up here pre-authorization for $350 complete.
So that basically that gives you an opportunity so that you can do a deposit and then come back in. So ideal customers, are anybody that's pretty much out in the field. So these are things that you can do at grocery stores, things like that. But if you're somebody who's out in the field, you want to go take credit cards anywhere, this is a perfect solution for that. You've got CPAs, construction, car detailing, photography, like I mentioned, fitness, online businesses, even startup companies are good. Tutoring. Another great one is farmers markets. When you go to conventions and things like that, you see this all the time. They don't have the ability to plug in a terminal, or they don't have the ability for internet. This eliminates all that. I'm doing all of this remotely right here, wherever there's any type of data connection. So I don't know if we have enough time for Q&A.
We have about 1 minute. We're
okay.
A little over.
All right, so like I said, I'm used to doing presentations. There's a lot of information to cover here. So one of the questions I think that's probably one of the best ones to answer is transaction fees. Our transaction fees really vary. We charge a minimum, maybe 10, 15 cents per transaction. That's our fees. But then you also have to add on top of whatever that merchant provider that you're using and whoever we go through, they might have monthly fees. Rates typically are anywhere from like 1.5% to 2%. But again, I caution it depends on what type of credit card you're using because there's many different credit cards. And they do charge you differently for each type of credit card. It's not just Visa, MasterCard, regular Visa, MasterCard. It could be debit cards. Debit cards actually usually the lowest, but then you have rewards cards. Okay, and then you also have corporate credit cards. So there's different variances between that. So I mean, we really don't like to get too much into rates. One of the great things, because another question was that where's the future of all this going? The great thing is that pretty soon we won't have these. Right now, what we're working on and what other companies are working on is being able to take all your information and just have it